We're getting played, guys. We're getting played. I don't know if this play was being run from the beginning, but it's definitely happening now. Unbelievable. Welcome to How to Build a Tent. My name is Matt Williams. Thank you for listening to the show, sharing the show with a friend. We are part of the Fight Laugh Feast Network. Go over to flfnetwork.com. Put in HTBT in the memo field. You'll get a mug like behind me. You'll get tons of great benefits. You'll get, I think, a free t-shirt still while they have the supplies Fight Laugh Feast. It's a really nice shirt. $100 off our conference coming up. I'm so excited for that. We also have tons of great content. Please pray about supporting us to proclaim the Lordship of Jesus in every area of life. You can email me, Matt, at howtobuildatent.com. Find me on all the social media sites, How to Build a Tent. I can't tell you how blessed I am to be part of this Marco Polo group with you guys. We only have a few people so far. And if you don't know what it is, Marco Polo is an app where it's free to download, to be part of my group. My link is in the show notes. I posted it on my social media sites. And you basically can just do a video. It's raw video. I don't think you can edit. And it's just there. And everyone in the group can see it. And so you can come join the group and not just see me, but then see other people that are listening to the show, their stories. There's this one gentleman who talks about his past struggles and how he got saved and what he's looking to do now. He wants to start a pizza business. And just hearing him and his story and getting to know you guys, seeing you face to face and hearing your stories was an incredible encouragement to me. I know it'd be an encouragement to you. And just how cool would it be to have this huge community where we're sharing business ideas, talking about economics, and all of this other stuff, encouraging each other with testimonies of what God's doing in our lives. Just a really great place. So just go over there, get on the link, get Marco Polo, download the app, and join our group. And just watch. You don't have to post videos. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But just come see what the Lord is doing. It's totally amazing. I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to hear more about what you're thinking of doing. God is good. God is moving. God is doing amazing things, even in these times that we live in. And boy, what time are they? It's absolutely insane. I did a show a little bit ago, I think a couple days ago, talking about those two doctors from Central California. And turns out YouTube took their briefing off. So now YouTube isn't just in the business of filtering churches, filtering political views they don't approve with, but they're also in the business of filtering and censoring doctors in medical fields that go against their narrative. And I tweeted out, and I saw this on the news. I believe it was a clip from Laura Ingraham on Fox News. I don't listen to her show. I personally do not like her, not as a person, but just how she interacts and talks. She interrupts people like Sean Hannity does, and both of them are annoying to me when they do that. It's like, just let the guest talk. But it's basically said that it was a quote from the CEO of YouTube who said, if anything contradicts the World Health Organization, then we are taking it down. It's against our policy. It violates the policies that we have on what content can be on YouTube if you disagree with the World Health Organization. Think about that. YouTube is Chinese propaganda. That's what that means. You see, the WHO echoes, says, holds back by omission, lies, deceives at the will of the Chinese Communist Party. And when you, as an American corporation, says, we will only put forth narratives, we will suppress other narratives that contradict an organization that is in the pocket of the Chinese Communist Party, you have an American company that is a propagandist for the communist regime in China. The murderers, not just of their own people, of the world. They are responsible for this outbreak. Intentional or not, they deceived, they held back critical data. To this day, they won't let us test the specific strands in that country. And YouTube is endorsing, supporting, and putting forth the narrative that China wants via the World Health Organization. What an evil company. YouTube, you should be ashamed of yourself. You need to repent. You are evil. Owned by Google, who used to say, do no harm. And if mimicking the Chinese propaganda is not harmful, I don't know what is. It's absolutely disgusting. So they took it down. And now the hit is on, guys. So we need to pray for them. Like I said before, I think they're Christians. I don't know it. My gut feeling is they are, just because they referenced the Old Testament quarantine laws with leprosy. I don't know anyone else who's not a Christian reading the Old Testament that would have that come to mind in a medical briefing. But these guys put forth facts. They put forth studies. They gave their opinions of what their conclusions would be based on the data, not just of their own studies, but of all the other studies that they have been seeing. And they talked about it in this clip. I hope you get to see it sometime. They took it down, and I know it keeps coming back up. It keeps being put back down. I hope you get to see it. But they are putting forth their beliefs. They're putting forth their facts. They're putting forth their samples that they've seen. And the press, the media is livid. They're outraged. They're furious. And they're trying to squash it. There's the medical organizations coming out against it. There are the news press organizations coming out against it. And the funny thing is, guys, and this is why I know we're getting played. We're being played. There's a play being run on us. Did I say that we're being played? Did I say that we're being played? We're being played. I know it because every single article I have read is either a straw man of what they said or is not an argument against their points. It is not arguments against their facts. It's generalizations. Oh, they're so wrong. And oh, they're just profit driven. And oh, they're not taking the correct sample size when they only use Bakersfield data and extract it and apply it to the rest of the world. They don't address their specific data points, the premise for their arguments, and they don't address the conclusion with any counterpoints. Any media page, any blog, any article, including places like ABC7, which is the local channel in California, none of them have addressed the facts. None of them have addressed their arguments that they brought forward. That's how I know we're getting a play run on us. That's not how science works. That's not how the medical field works. But that's how politics works, and that's how power grabs work. You silence dissent, you demonize, you downplay, you mock, you do whatever you can. You gaslight, you repeatedly, over and over again, multiple press releases, multiple media broadcasts, demonizing, destroying. And that's what they're trying to do to these two gentlemen, these two doctors. Oh, they're profit driven. Oh, you don't think hospitals are profit driven? You don't think they are beholden to donors? You don't think they're beholden to the government that pays them, that gives them money for every coronavirus case? Get out of here. Anyone who ever tries to come to me, a businessman, an entrepreneur, and starts off with their opinion's not valid because they are for-profit industry, you just totally discredit yourself. I don't care about you and your socialist ways. I don't care about you and your Marxist arguments. They're irrelevant to me because you don't think logically. You are not an intelligent person. You're a fool, you're deceived, and you're brainwashed by the Marxist liberals that have educated you your whole life. So one of the arguments that I've seen in these articles is that their sample size isn't good enough. And from what I remember, the article was in the mercurynews.com, It was 5,237, I think. It was over 5,000. I'm pretty sure it's 5,200, but I think it's 5,272 or something was that. The paywall blocked me from reading the rest of the article. And I'm definitely not giving them a dime of my money. But I bring this up to say this, is they're so desperate to disprove these guys. They're so desperate to disprove these doctors with data, that with the counter narrative, with the recommendation to open back up the economy, to give individuals freedom to choose what to do. Think about this. And I'll get back to the point I was making in a second. Think about this, guys. People are mad that the government is considering giving you back your freedom to choose if you should go out or not. People are mad that the government wants to give you back your freedom, or is thinking about giving you back your freedom. What do you mean, Matt? What do you mean, Matt? You see, when they open up the economy again, whenever that is, they're not going to force you out of your house. They're not going to make sure that you don't stay in your home, that you've spent a certain amount of time outside, that you've spent a certain amount of time in restaurants. They're not going to do that. Not the way they made sure that you're going to stay home. But they're going to give you back your freedom to choose what's right for you. And people are furious about it. See, the government opens up and is not going to make you do anything. It's just going to stop making you stay at home. And that's the America we live in, guys, where we have citizens of a country that once bragged, put in their songs, put in their documents, in their founding documents, that we were free. Our citizens of this once free country are livid that doctors are recommending that states give us back our freedom. Not that these doctors are forcing people to go to restaurants. It's not saying you need to go to the shopping mall, that you need to go to the store, but that if you want to, you have that right. And these people are trying to destroy them. Think about where we are in this country. Think about where we are amongst our citizens, in our education, in our government, in our local government, in our national government. That the right to choose is too much freedom for us in this time. Oh, we can kill our children, but we cannot go out and risk a flu-like virus. Amazing. So one of the points that this mercurynews.com was trying to point out is that 5,200 whatever rounding error number from there is not enough for a sample size. Even though these guys were not just taking their own data. They were using other data. They were talking about New York. They were talking about other countries. And they were applying other data sets as well. And they didn't even condemn the shutdown in the beginning. They just said, now with the data we have, we need to reopen. And they said that is not a big enough sample size. So not only were they giving him a straw man, saying that this is not the way to determine if we should open up the economy by just using Bakersfield, even though they're not. They said 5,200 is not a legitimate sample size. Well, I want just to point out a little fact. The average political poll, are you satisfied with the government? Are you satisfied with the president? Are you going to vote for Donald Trump or Joe Biden? The average size is between 500 and 1,000. They have 5 times the larger end of that range. An average poll is between 500 and 1,000 people. So is the argument now that we should never believe polls again because the sample does not reflect the population? Is that what you're saying, mainstream media? Is that what you're saying, ABC News? Is that what you're saying, mercurynews.com? That we should never believe the polls again because most of these sample sizes are below 5,000. We shouldn't believe state polls anymore because they do not reflect the larger population. See, this is the con, guys. That is what statistics is studying the sample sizes, knowing what your margins of error are, and then using it to apply to the greater population. It's actually math. It's absolutely insane. All right, let's see if there's anything good in this. Tonight, sparks are flying, but this is the ABC News article. Believe that Governor Newsom should lift the stay-at-home order, and others who believe it would be a catastrophic to do so. 2 doctors in Bakersfield are pushing for the Californian shelter-in-place order to be lifted, as doctors we talked with in the Bay Area are strongly opposed to the idea. It's crazy. And then they quote this guy, Dr. George Rutherford from the UCSF, which is San Francisco. They disagree, saying it could end up being 30 times worse than the flu. See, this is the disagreement. We have the 2 doctors in Bakersfield using facts, data points. And this guy's using fear. It could be 30 times worse than the flu. It could be. Not that it is. Not that it is seeing it. It might be. Remind you of all the projections early on in this thing? We're getting played, guys. We're getting played, and they're trying to stir up fear so that we don't get our freedoms back. Remember, opening up the economy does not mean they're forcing you to do anything. It's just allowing you to choose what you want to do with your life. Go to the store, go to a restaurant, go to a bar, go to wherever you see fit. Go to the park, go to the beach. That's what these people are fighting against. That's what this doctor is fighting against. He goes on. The early projections were that 44,000 deaths in the Bay Area. It could be worse, remember. It could be worse. 44,000. 44,000. There's only been 250. It was projected 44,000. It could be 30 times worse. Only 250 have died in the Bay Area from coronavirus. It could be, it might have been. Look how great this shutdown was because of all the numbers we've saved in lives. They can't prove that. They can't prove that at all. Because states like Sweden exist. Governments like Sweden. I know it's a country, I said state. I'm probably going to get people laughing at me for that. It was a slip up, guys. It was a slip up. Sorry. We're getting played. I don't know what else to say. We need to pray for these doctors. We need to get the word out. We need to be continuing to push for real science, for real math, for real statistics. We need to continue to call out this garbage, this fear-mongering, this gaslighting. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And then just enough times you hear it and you think, oh, they're wrong. Oh, I'm wrong. But there's no data. There's no argument. There's no legitimate logical conclusion to this. It's just a bunch of fear-mongering. We need to wise up. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless.